a while now, and I love a few specific channels like ASMR Nirvana. I love Hailey Jean ASMR and Soft ASMR, and I thought that there might not be a channel where people talk about movies enough, or sort of do their ramblings and a bit more movies and stuff. So I studied film, and I just needed that outlet, I think, to have a bit more movie talk in my life, and wanted to build that community as well. So connecting ASMR and the movies sort of element of it just seemed like a natural next step for me. And I love stuff like Mike's Mike, I love Your Internet, Mama Ash, Trent Lavelle, people that I watch on YouTube all the time. And I love commentary YouTubers as well, like Curtis Connor, Italian Badge. So I am just going to sort of have my channel be similar style, but in ASMR. So anyway, let's get into the movie for today. So we're going to be talking about Zootopia 2. And honestly, this is a spoiler zone. So if you haven't seen it, and you don't want it spoiled, don't watch this video. Pause this now and then come back to it. And if you don't mind a bit of spoilers, then by all means do stay. But essentially, what happened since Last Zootopia is a week later. It's set a week later from the previous film. But Judy and Nick, I've got some notes here, that's why I'm looking down. But Judy and Nick are sort of official partners at the police department. But what happens is that their sort of clashing personalities complicate the work a bit. If you know a bit of attachment theory, then I would say that Nick is definitely an avoidant, and Judy, I would say, is an anxious attachment style. For those that follow, if you know, you know. So anyway, their chief sort of threatens to separate them if they don't sort of go to this therapy for partners, like kind of like couples counselling. So anyway, what happens is that Judy begins to believe there might be like a snake roaming Zootopia after finding like a bit of shed skin when they do like this raid. And when she shares her discovery, no one sort of believes her. And again, it sort of goes back to that first film, I'd say, when they don't really believe the bunny, which is a bit annoying because I thought that they would have sorted those differences out by now. And it's the second film, and I'm like, why aren't they going back to that? Why? But at the same time, if you consider that this is a week later from the first film, and she's only had sort of one break as a police person, police bunny even, police person, then I guess that maybe makes sense. I'm not sure what I think about that yet. So anyway, because there hasn't been snakes in Zootopia for years, so they kind of take the mick out of her, and that's that. And then there's clues about how this snake or snakes might be at this gala that's happening. It's called Zootennial Gala, and it celebrates the centennial anniversary of the city's founding, and is hosted by a family of lynxes who are descendants of Zootopia's founder Ebenezer Lynxley. So this is the sort of beginning of the film, and we get into it now. At the gala, you sort of see Nick and Judy really dress up, and she's like going on full on Belle. Did anyone else think that? If anyone else saw it, I know this is like speaking into the void, but if anyone else saw that and felt like that was the case, then let me know. But that was my impression, and I think that is what they were going for. And I do feel like throughout the film there were nods to other Disney films, and also films that are coming out later on, which I think everybody knows by now. They sort of take the mick, like the Tangled West, Prada. There was a Star Wars reference, I think. I think everyone knows that. So anyway, at the gala, Judy befriends this guy called Paulbert, who's the like awkward youngest son of the Linksley family, who this gala is organised by. And Nick notices this infiltrating hooded figure, and he reveals himself to be a snake, Gary the Snake, who's also amazingly animated. I absolutely adored how Gary the Snake was animated. I thought it was great. So anyway, everyone panics, and then Gary kidnaps Milton, and he's the patriarch, sort of like the dad of the Linksleys, and he uses him to sort of receive access to an old journal detailing the creation of the weather walls that control Zootopia's climate zones. So if you've seen Zootopia 1, then you know that there are lots of different sort of zones, and they're all fitted for different animal kinds, for the climates that they are accustomed to. So it's a great little idea. Now Judy captures Gary, and he convinces her that snakes are not bad animals, and that the journal contains the proof he needs to help his family. And then, seeking to protect the Linksley's name, Milton accuses Judy and Nick of aiding the Viper to have them arrested. So that doesn't help, and Gary actually accidentally bites the chief, leading eyewitnesses to think that Judy and Nick are responsible, and then the two of them escape with the journal. At the same time, there's like an unknown motorcycle rider that takes Gary, so they let Gary go, and then they escape. So it's not looking good for them, basically. That's what happened. So they become fugitives, and they actually seek the help of Mr. Pig and his daughter, Frou Frou, which I didn't know that was a name. I feel like that's a good trigger. Frou Frou, Frou Frou. Maybe not. I don't know. And they are directed to Nibbles Maplestick, who's a conspiracy theorist beaver who knows about reptiles. Now, let's talk about Nibbles, because she is hilarious. She is absolutely the queen of this show, I think. Something that's just so on the nose about her is obviously she's a beaver, and she's also, I think, a lesbian, fully queer coded, and she's also voiced by a lesbian actress. And if you can't see it, then I don't know what to tell you. She's hilarious. She is sort of like, she wears like a plaid thing, like she's just giving queer vibes, and we're here for it. We're here for it, 100%. And she's a bit cray cray, so I don't know. I just loved her so much. I thought she was hilarious, and she definitely made the film, just like, even though that was exposition, a lot of the stuff that she said, it just made it quite smooth sailing anyway, which is great, I thought. So yes, Nibbles takes them to this marsh market, a secluded park of Zootopia, where a lot of reptiles live, and the scenography here and the animation was just stunning. I think this is the first time we sort of seen this world, and it just looked amazing. The colours were just so vibrant, the idea behind it, the animation, chef's kiss, honestly. So they basically consult this basilisk, who informs them that the reptile's original home was buried during the construction of Tundra Town, which is the Arctic section of Zootopia. Now, at the same time, Gary the Snake retrieves the journal from Judy and escapes via a water tunnel, and then she and Nick climb a mountain to an abandoned lodge. Sorry guys, I had a delivery. Okay, on we go. So I think we stopped at that Gary retrieves the journal from Judy, that's the one. escapes via a tunnel water, and she and Nick then climb this mountain to an abandoned lodge, and they meet like these goats. I think there's two goats again, very queer coded goats, I think. So yeah, I would say that the film overall has some queer characters, and I think it's quite fun. They're not explicitly queer, but you know what I mean. So they sort of have this argument, and their recorder pen that they sort of co-own breaks essentially. So that happens, and it obviously means a lot to both Nick and Judy. So there's some pursuing officers that catch up with them and arrest Nick, but Judy is rescued by Gary and the motorcyclist helper, and lo and behold, the motorcyclist helper is Paul Bert. So the youngest of the Lynxes. And they discover that Gary's great-grandmother Agnes is an author of the journal and the true founder of Zootopia, and she was the one to sort of create the Zootopia's walls and the idea for that basically. And then Ebenezer, who's the Lynx's dad, who we met before, stole the credit and framed her for murdering his tortoise maid, who tried to stop Ebenezer from destroying the Weather Wall's original patent. And then ever since, snakes have become shunned as dangerous creatures. Can I speak? Okay. So, Nick, as well as other criminals like Dawn Bellwether from their film before, escape prison with Nibbles' help. I just love Nibbles. I think she's the best character. So Nick and Nibbles locate Judy at the weather holes, and there she, Gary, and Paul Bert activate this old clock tower and find the buried reptile district, deducting that the original patent is hidden in Agnes's house. However, drumroll please, Paul Bert betrays Judy and Gary, revealing that he intends to earn his family's respect by burning the patent. Girl, when I tell you I was gobsmacked. But the thing is, it is such a predictable plot twist. So this one's kind of on me, because this is a classic. This is basically Frozen. When you think about it, this is basically Frozen. And if you haven't seen Frozen, then you might want to pluck your ears. But essentially, what you do it if you haven't seen Frozen. But essentially, Hans is the nice guy, and he's like the youngest of however many siblings, and then he ends up being a douche. Can I say douche on YouTube? I think so. I might bleep it. So this was basically Frozen, and I can't believe I haven't seen it come in, because at the cinema when I watched that, I was gobsmacked, literally gobsmacked. So yeah. Anyway, so Paul Bert injects Judy with snake venom, throws cold-blooded Gary into the snow, and steals the anti-venom pen that could cure Judy. Arriving at the weather walls, Nick fights Paul Bert for the pen and throws it to Gary, who cures Judy. Nick and Paul Bert fall off the wall, but Judy saves Nick, while Nibbles and Major Brian Windenser stop the other Lynx leads, which are basically the other lynxes, and I can't read. Judy and Nick mend their friendship by finally opening up their emotional insecurities. That was honestly such a vulnerable and well-written scene. I mean, it was basically like info dump, but it was so emotionally intelligent that I thought it was really sweet for them to do that, and very self-aware as well. So, reaching Agnes's home, Judy and Nick aid Gary to find her patent. Paul Bert arrives and attempts to destroy it, but is knocked out. I swear to God, when we saw Paul Bert again after that, I was like, oh my God, will he ever die? So with the crimes exposed, the Lynxleys are arrested, and Judy and Nick are cleared of all charges. Boko recovers from the venom, while Reptile criminals reintegrate into the city, and then Gary is reunited with his family, and Agnes is credited as the true founder of Zootopia. Nick gives the newly fixed recorder pen to Judy before they go on the next case to recapture criminals, including Bellwether. And then, in a post-credit scene, which by the way, I wasn't there for that, I completely missed that, Judy listens to a recording of Nick mentioning he loves her before a feather lands on her windowsill. Ooh. So, overall, I think it's no surprise that the film is doing so well. I think everyone knows this by now, but the film made £1 billion at the box office. So it was made for 150 million, but it made them $1.276 billion. Sorry, not pounds. So obviously it's slapping, and we know that. So I think it shows to you that the remakes are not working. Essentially, I think that's what really is proving to us here. The remakes are not working, and that official Disney animated films are doing so much better. And I know that they've been sort of spitting out the sequels as well, and a lot of people don't feel very good about that, but this sequel is really well made, and Disney still has that charm. I think Disney does best when there's talking animals, and honestly, I think that's the truth. Agree with it or not. So yeah, this is my video, my first ASMR video about Zootopia, and I hope you liked it, and do like and subscribe if you want to see more of this. Over time, I think the content will probably become much better structured, but because it's my first one, I'm still sort of very new to it and stuff. But I've really enjoyed making this, and I do have plans to work on a few other movies already, so look out for that. But if anyone has any requests, I am happy to watch. I am not very good with gore, yes, but I can do thrillers, mostly. So yeah, if anyone has any requests,